We're live. Back in the studio. We decided to do another Thursday session. I feel like Thursdays are almost better.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Fridays get crazy.
Yeah. All of our Fridays always seems to be something.
Yes.
There's always something at school.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks to our sponsor. I don't have an official logo on my coffee cup, but
Oh no. It's not
Friendship Coffee.
Friendship Coffee.
It feels like fall. I'm drinking.
He made it bougie, didn't
He did. Pumpkin spice latte just for me. So nice. Thanks, Nate. So yes, I needed this pick me up so bad.
Yeah.
I came in like
We're not awake.
not. Now we are. We're like fired up after having conversations outside.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
For like an hour.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, speaking of local chit chat, I wanted to share because, we come on here, we talk about the school board, local politics, things happening, and we do this because we want a conversation started with people, right? Like we want people in offices to reach out. We want to hear their side, even if they don't vote the same as we do.
Exactly.
All of those things, we still want to have a conversation. That is the point, right?
For sure.
I mean, the point is you share your ideas or reasoning why you want X, I share mine, and then we can kind of figure it out from there.
And we also have asked questions on here, like, can anyone explain this? What is going on? We need more details. So
yes, and so we've had things happening with the school board, which was a big deal. And I just wanted to share, we have had multiple school board members reach out, have conversations with us,
which I love.
Yes, constructive conversations.
Yes.
Because this is the thing. We can be adult enough to agree to disagree.
And this is how change happens.
Right.
Because they don't know. If they don't know what we're feeling,
yes,
how is change going to happen?
Exactly. And to that point, they want, the school board members want to hear from you. I promise you, as parents, business members, members of the community, like to our face, they have told us, we want to hear from our constituents.
Yeah, and so you heard from one.
I did, yes. And it was such a great conversation. Like, they explained why they voted this way. I was able to share my feelings of why I thought they should vote a different way. And we came to a respectful conclusion, which is the point.
And interesting, his main reason for voting that way was he didn't hear from any constituents.
Yes.
So I said, I take a blame for that because he's my school board member. But I was confident in his vote. So I was like, I don't have to worry about him.
Right.
So I thought we were good. And so, that's part of me. He might have, if you heard from me, it would have been at least one.
Well, and again, that's why we want these new members in to, number one, vote to live stream the meetings.
Yes.
That would be such a huge, check for parents who, like we said, work evening shift. They're mom taxi drivers like we are. I mean, that way at least they could go and watch the replay.
Yep.
They could have it live while they're, cooking dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, it's just another avenue for them to be informed.
And be involved.
Yes. I mean, so again, the key takeaway is reach out to your school board members. I promise they want to hear from you, even if it's a 2-second text message, voice message, email, phone call, whatever avenue you can, they want to hear from you.
And if you're trying to find it, if you go to Hamlin County Board of Education, hcbre.net, it has the list on there. It has their emails. It has text.
Yes. And again, sticking with local, I can't even believe we have to talk about this.
I know.
So in Greene County, there were 16 juveniles, I believe arrested or had charges brought against them because they were on social media reenacting a school shooting. What is this to say to
Parents, you need to talk to your kids.
Parents.
I don't even think these kids play video games. They watch things like this. I don't even think they understand the ramifications and how bad this is for their future by doing
Do you
this.
feel like You know how we do talk about this, like when you hear kids, they play these video games which are super bloody and violent.
Yeah.
We see a lot of things on TV. Do you think they just were detached? Almost.
I think their discernment is gone. To them, it's just like normal, and they don't even, especially kids like here, we're not in inner city where they have any kind of history of like violence that's more prevalent, like in the inner city or something. I do. I think it's just not even dangerous to them. They don't even think about it.
Well, but then they took it further, and the caption of this video, this that they're recreating, said "to be continued." Like, how am I supposed to take that as a parent?
Yeah.
So, first of all, we as parents, I am including myself in this, have to do a better job about having these conversations with our children
and teaching them how, whatever goes on social media is there forever.
Yes. It starts with me, I know. It's like my kids are younger than yours.
Yeah.
But I can sit here and say, like, my boys have pocket knives, okay? Yeah. For example, we've had multiple conversations.
Yeah.
The knives do not go in the backpack. They don't go in your pocket. They don't go to school. Like, and I tell them, you will be kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Okay, same thing with a Nerf gun. My kids have 40 of them at home.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a real weapon or not.
Right.
It does not go in your backpack. It doesn't go anywhere near school. You will be in very, very big trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, this is at the minimum the conversation.
Well, and most kids are not even thinking about doing something this bad.
Right.
But even if you just take it in a more minor situation, what they put on social media can affect them getting sports scholarships.
Correct.
Going to college, getting that first job.
Yes.
That is, people laugh it off like, oh, they were kids. No. College recruits, sports recruiters, that's what they're looking at.
Well, and in Florida, where there was kind of a similar instance, but even it was actual real, that these kids, these boys were putting out threats on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, the sheriff came out and said, I want to be very clear. We are going to arrest your children.
Yep.
We are going to treat them like an adult. We are going to handcuff them, perp walk them, put them in the back of the police, just like we would an adult, because they do know better at that point. I'm sorry. But, my daughter is in 3rd grade, and she knows better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that kids aren't going to make a mistake.
Well, kids are dumb. They lack that frontal lobe.
Yes.
Especially boys, they tend to be impulsive and do things without even thinking about the long term, So probably for some of these kids, it was just like something they didn't even realize how bad. And then there are others that definitely know. They know.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. But parents, we have to be having these conversations with our children. I mean, and again, on the flip side, if you are in school, and parents have to do a better job of this too, like telling our kids, see something, say something.
Yeah.
I mean, this can save so much. And I feel like kids have that sense of, well, we're tattling or snitching or whatever, but there's a point when it comes to like potentially saving lives.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter. And I think that's the conversation that has to be had with parents. So,
yeah.
Anywho, wrapped up local. That was a quick one on local today.
What's going on in local?
No.
Except you have till October 7th to register to vote.
Good call.
Still keep pushing people to vote. This election is going to come down to the conservatives showing up. That's 100% what's going to come down to.
I mean, that's why 3 things that we keep pushing are: you have to make sure you're registered to vote. Even if you know you're registered to vote, you need to get on there and make sure your information is correct.
Yeah.
You need to be registering at least 5 people, and all of you make a plan to early vote.
Early vote.
It has to be early voting. We have to be flooding those polls.
Because things are so dirty. I mean, what's going to stop it from working on the Tuesday,
Correct.
So, it's going to come down to just who shows up.
Agreed. speaking of our
He's not
presidential candidates, yeah, if he's
not unalive.
I mean, this is wild.
It's
That, again, if he wasn't a threat to democracy, do you think that anybody would be trying this?
I just am baffled by the people that don't see that.
Yeah.
I saw Kumo, what's his name?
Cuomo?
What's his name?
Chris?
Yeah.
Yes.
Him going on, and he's like, I don't even like Trump, but this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Did not have him apologizing and agreeing, not agreeing with Trump's stance on things,
He's
but
like,
just the fact.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
that this is where we are.
Yes.
In America. That you are, you've got kids, you've got grandkids. I am sorry for what they're doing.
Yes.
And this bingo card, man, it's wild. It's the most crazy bingo card I've ever seen in my life.
Getting like bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I like, because in truth, how he said, if this were me, if somebody would keep coming at me, legitimately trying to kill me, you wouldn't see me.
I'd be hiding.
He's like, I wouldn't be going on the news. I wouldn't be showing up to rallies and doing events every day. I'd be hiding in my house.
Yeah.
You know? And the fact, again, that people can't see, here you have a man who set his money aside, set his billions of dollars aside.
Didn't take a paycheck.
No. And now he is still showing up after attempt on his life.
Yeah.
This is why
He doesn't have to do this.
he doesn't have. He could just exit stage left.
Exit stage left.
Gracefully go
go like,
Florida. So I'm gonna golf till my last days.
Yeah.
Very
His
easily.
kids would probably sleep better.
Oh, I
want
guarantee
to get sleep better.
she would. Not. Oh my goodness, I feel so bad.
I just can't believe the people criticizing her. I saw, who was it?
Did you see Don Lemon?
Yeah, Don Lemon. I was like, who was
my
that?
gosh.
Who was that other guy that defended her? That's also a hardcore Democrat.
Okay, so I missed that.
But it's like, this is not okay to go after Melania for the stress that this has caused her. Like, this is not okay.
This is her
husband.
Yes.
She can be upset. She can be stressed about this. She can tell how she's feeling.
Like, this is the father of her son.
Yeah.
And she's upset. And then you have Don Lemon going on TikTok showing Melania's video in the background, how she's upset, just, is calling it to the carpet. Like, why have we not had answers from the first time somebody tried to unalive my husband? And he's in the front, like, legitimately making faces and mocking her.
Yeah. That's just
the all-encompassing left.
Yeah. It's just, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? And I have to think of, on our side, we all can't stand Biden, but we all also feel bad because we feel like it's abuse what they're doing to him, because we don't feel like he's medically able to do this. And nobody's calling for him to be killed or dead.
Exactly.
They are literally like,
even if it was Kamala.
Yeah.
I don't like her. Oh, but I don't want her to be president. I don't want her to be unalived.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to say this because
I messed up a minute ago.
No, you're good. But I would never wish that.
No.
I would never say I hate so and so.
We'd love for them to find Jesus.
He's really good for our country.
Really good for our country.
Yes. But that again is such a stark difference.
And it goes back to the sanctity of life. And the left has no right. They do not care about the sanctity of life.
Because not only are they, not agreeing with what's happening, as far as they're calling for this violence. Like Hillary Clinton still the other day got on social media, whatever video she posted, and said Donald Trump has to be stopped.
It's a threat to democracy.
What? Mentally unstable people
hear that,
and then look at what is happening.
Yeah, you can't say, and it's such a rhetoric. It's become such a statement.
Yes.
You could see all the news clips where it's selling threat to democracy, threat to democracy, over and over and over again, where the people that are unstable are this is dangerous. I need to protect my town and protect my family, all this kind of stuff, and then we are unaliving.
Yes, Kamala has yet to denounce any of this. Even the press secretary You had Peter Ducey, was in the press secretary room and asked her and said, where are we at here? Like, why are we continuing to push this rhetoric? Why are we not denouncing violence? Why are we not just saying, hey, this is not that serious? However you want to word it. And she came back to him and said, your question is threatening. Your question is causing violence. What? Okay. What planet are we on, you guys? Oh my gosh, can Jesus come back at this point?
I just can't.
And then, I mean, second assassination attempt, you have this guy, Ryan Ruth, who is clearly an extreme radical. And I say that because for proof and evidence-based reasons, when an American citizen, I'm going to say this with my tinfoil hat on partially, with his own money,
own money,
flies to Ukraine, enlists in the Ukrainian army to fight against Russia.
You can't make this stuff.
No, you can't.
This is like a Bourne movie.
That's what I feel like. Jason Bourne.
24.
Yes, this is 24.
Yes. Yeah.
He's also in Ukraine trying to recruit soldiers to fight for them.
Yeah.
On his own dime. Okay. Comes back home, back to America. A man who is from North Carolina, lives in Florida, and somehow this same man finds out where Trump is going to be last minute, because it is a fact. This golf game was not on his schedule. It was very last minute.
Yeah.
So how does that happen that he gets past all this security with an AK?
And I feel like his golf course has to be like the most safe place in all of South Florida.
Yes. Like, you're telling me they're not doing rounds, right?
Like, what is going on?
There's no way he's letting his grandkids play on this course that's not extremely safe.
And can we mention the fact that now both assassins were in BlackRock commercials? Both of them. Like, what are the chances? And these are two, like, oddball characters.
Yes.
These are
one's young,
but oddball characters.
Oh, yeah.
And they both just happen to be on BlackRock commercials.
And this Ryan Ruth, he's also been interviewed by multiple mainstream media news channels, which is weird.
It is weird. It just is like shows you how
deep,
how like acting it is. It's just a big political theater.
Yes, it is. And luckily this time, a ton of people on the internet went and captured all of his social media content
before they took it
down. Because the FBI, listen, didn't know squat about the first.
Did you see that?
The first guy.
DeSantis refused to give him.
Oh, thank you, Ron DeSantis.
DeSantis is like, no, I'm not giving him to the FBI. He'll be dead in an hour.
He would.
Yeah, he's like, nope. This is
be Jeffrey Epstein 2.0.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we know zero from the first shooter from the assassination. We know nothing about him. So why would we hand over the second shooter to the same people who
took out the first?
Right. And deleted everything. You have Department of Homeland Security and Secret Service who have more knowledge, more security, more reach than who else in our entire country, and you're telling me they can't give us any answers? And the fact that the left is so quick to brush this under the rug and not even want answers.
And even the people, like, did you see Bo Diddle? Diddle, okay.
Yeah.
His, him interviewing people, and they're like, did you see that he'd been shot at? And they're like, well, was he killed? Like, they're hoping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, have you not learned anything from the last one? How many people lost their jobs and all that? Because you can't say that. I don't know what you're thinking.
Well, it's just,
why are we wishing somebody that you don't even know personally?
Yeah. When you can do that, like within yourself.
Yeah. And it's one thing if you're a pedophile or somebody, someone like that
has done things to children, or
we may have that kind of thought. But even then, that's between them and God. You know what I mean? But to a president,
Yes.
just because you don't like, I mean, I don't like Clinton, but
We're not sitting here saying, hey.
no, I'm not.
Did
My
not
life
have
didn't
it.
get consumed with my hate for Clinton.
That's the difference. I mean, we'll go into that in a minute. But
Yeah.
second terrorist attack, or I'm sorry, second assassination attempt. There's again a lot that's happening in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have more terrorist attacks happening in Lebanon and Syria.
Yeah.
We had pagers going off from Hezbollah, and so
That's
this is
bizarre. These pages are
it's supposed to be a calculated attack, from what I gather, from Israel
Yep.
to Hezbollah.
Yeah.
Like, they are, I want to be very clear. They are terrorists. Okay. Like Hezbollah. Okay. They are a terrorist organization. So when you've got these pagers going off, to an extent, some of these people, and the majority, are terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's just wild to me how on one side, you know, if it's the left and pro-Palestine, you know, they're kill them all, unalive them all. See, I keep saying it. But then here we are on this side, and as soon as Israel decides to retaliate,
which is justified.
Yes. How can you do this? What are you doing? You're you know. I mean, this is what people don't understand, and we see it more because of our family and our brothers, and you know the things that we know. But the world, you cannot look at the world through rose-colored glasses, because unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. And with that being said, these are acts of war. Like, these two entities are at war, are at odds with each other.
Lives are going to be lost.
And it does not make it right by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm telling you, this is the casualty of these problems coming to a head.
Yeah, and you have to look at them and be like, well, Israel is not a terrorist organization. You know, they're right that at all. The other side, 100% is a terrorist organization.
Right.
There's no question what side we should be on.
Exactly.
Not one.
Exactly. And again, we're funding it. That's the thing, you guys.
We taxpayers, us personally, our tax money.
We are sitting
funding
40 plus $1 million.
We are funding the terrorists.
Every week to the Taliban.
Every week.
$40+ million every week to the Taliban.
Yeah.
This is, again, there's proof. This is not us just speaking random facts.
I saw this college kid, he said, if they're going to hate America, why are we funding them? They can hate us for free.
Yes, they would anyway.
Yes, they're going to hate us regardless. So why if they're going to hate us, why are we going to fund them? And I think of Tulsi Gabbard when she brought up, she was a Democrat. She brought up that bill to stop funding terrorists. And they're like, well, don't we need to have the bad guys on our side a little bit? No, there's no justification here.
This is Rules of War 101.
Yeah.
You do not negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference in how presidents have handled things.
Yeah.
President Trump gets hostages back.
But I even think that Clinton, Obama, they even got hostages back.
I will give the left that as far as
this is a new
this
regime.
Joe Biden on
they just leave our guys to die. They didn't even try.
They're giving space away.
Yeah.
Like, here, sure, Iran, let me release your $6 billion that we had frozen, and also here's all your people back. You're welcome. Sorry. What?
What are we doing?
This is the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
And again, this is the left doing the exact opposite of what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
Or they project, which is also what they do. They project this onto Trump, when in actuality it's their party.
Yeah, because it's their new world order. Every single thing that's happening is already written up in the new world order, which we've been looking at for 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's not.
They're just rolling it out a little at a time.
We knew this ahead of time was coming. Those of us that are paying attention.
Yes.
And so this is not. We know this is the game plan. This is their chess game.
Yes. And when you can sit here and go through it fact by fact,
Yeah.
When they say we're the party, we love and accept everybody, everybody's welcome, except when you stop saying that.
Yeah.
Except when you say, or when you start to question something.
Yeah.
But how do we include MAPS in this, which is minor attracted persons, which is a thing, which is AKA a new name for pedophiles.
Yeah.
They're including this in the LGBTQ community circle to normalize this behavior. Mm-hmm. And so that's just one thing that you can question, criticize, and then you are immediately kicked out.
Canceled.
And not just canceled, but they will straight turn around and spew hate on you, scream, cuss you up and down, or walk away. Yes. It's the same thing with, they want to call it gender affirming care. They want to sit here and say, if you don't sign these papers and don't do this for your kids, they are going to commit suicide.
And that's literally Tim Wall's stand.
Yes, and Elon Musk has even come out and said, this is exactly what happened to my son.
Yeah.
The doctor straight up said, he is going to kill himself if you do not sign these papers and do these things. But in actuality, there's no gender affirming care.
No, because they're just as you're not changing their brain. Their brain is going to feel the exact same way no matter what
yes. You are mutilating children. You are allowing children who can't vote, can't tattoo, can't get a tattoo, can't buy cigarettes. You are allowing them to cut body parts off, they're not even puberty blockers, because this cannot be reversed.
This can't be reversed. Once you take those, you are sterile for the rest of your life.
Forever.
Yeah, and this is Tim Wall's plan. And right now in Minnesota, if your kid decides, I want this, you say no.
Yeah, go through this whole thing.
So your kid comes to you, and Megyn Kelly told this on
it was on Tucker.
Your kid decides, she lives in Wisconsin, they want to change their sex, blah, blah, you say no. She can travel to Minnesota, go before a judge, say my parents want, and we're talking a 14-year-old. We're not talking like 19.
Yep. She's not an adult. This is teenagers, young children.
Go before a judge, say my parents won't let me do this. They will take custody of her. You will lose custody of your child. They will do all of those surgeries. They will give her, because that's what the money is there for. They will do all of this. And then who's dealing with this kid? When they realize, like, oh, snap, I messed up. Now I'm 16 and I don't want to be here. I want to go to prom and I want to do this and I want to do that. And now I am stuck in a loop of horrible health. I'm no longer, I have no support. My parents have no access to me because they've taken my, what are we doing?
Yep.
And this is what people are voting for. This is what people are voting for.
Yes.
For Tim Walz to do this. He's done it in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. He will do this in the entire country.
Yes. And again, when you've got celebrities like Taylor Swift straight up coming out saying, I endorse the Harris Walz campaign because of her pick for vice president and his stance on LGBTQ rights. Well, that's his stance. If that's your stance as a parent, you let Taylor Swift sway you, that's what you're voting for. Yes.
You're voting for the thing that if your child is confused, they can go to Minnesota, they'll be able to go to the whole country.
Yep.
And have this done, and you will lose custody of your kid. I mean, all because they were confused one day that maybe they're tomboy.
Yes. And again, it is on us as a parent to actually reaffirm how they're made in the image of Jesus.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm very clear on this. God did not make a mistake with anybody. No, God does not make mistakes.
No.
When he created you in his image to be a female or a male, that is exactly what he meant.
Yeah.
And so you can understand that kids go through phases. They're affected by their
100%.
friends, who they're around, especially social media these days, which is why you should not let your kids on there. So all of those things can be very confusing. And just puberty in general is like a very rough time on kids.
Yeah.
And so when they are in this confusing, part of their time, like part of time, it is up to us
to
reassure them and to give
that
them
it's normal.
confidence.
They'll be
Yes,
normal.
like you're gonna get through this. I understand.
Yeah.
You know, like been there and done that myself, felt these feelings, but like God created you to be this way.
Yeah.
And you are special just the way you are.
Yeah.
And so that one is just wild.
Well, if you're taking your presidential pick advice from a celebrity who's 34, never been married, and can't hold down a relationship,
and all
maybe
her
you should-
songs are written
the
about
wrong guy.
picking the wrong people,
then I feel like, but I'm gonna go even far as Steph Curry and the
Yes.
football or the
Yeah,
basketball player and all these ones, Billie Eilish and her brother,
Yeah.
like they do not live our lives. They do not have to struggle
Correct.
to buy butter. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they are not grocery shopping. They are not. They are living in an alternate universe that none of us get to experience.
Yes.
They don't get
because
it.
no matter who becomes president in November,
It
guess
doesn't
what?
affect them at all.
They're still off in their jet setting lifestyle, going from mansion to mansion, you know,
Yeah.
doing all of the things.
Yeah.
It
So
does not
You
affect
cannot.
them.
I don't care if she's endorsing. To me, that means
Right.
absolutely nothing.
Yes.
But the fact that she's endorsing
based
because
off of that.
of
Yeah.
that policy
That's what it is.
just sickening.
Yes.
Sickening.
I agree.
Especially as someone that has become an idol or a role model for
Mhm.
teen girls.
Yes. It's so
Sickening.
sad. It's so sad. And again, they just say, we love America. You know, you hear them, all these great sound bites, like get up at the DNC. We want to be united. We love America.
No, they don't. They hate America.
But then outside,
Yeah.
they're burning the flag. They're
Murdering babies.
they're murdering children. Well, and they're flying any other flag except the United States of America's flag.
Yeah.
You know,
Not to mention their jet setting. What happened to their
climate change
situations?
They send all of our hard-earned taxpayer money to everyone else. We keep none of it here.
Yeah.
To help people here,
Yeah.
actual American citizens.
But then they'll say things like, "But she donates money to her staff
Truckers
and
or-
her truckers." Yeah. I don't care.
You can still do good
person.
things.
That's just
Yeah.
being a good person.
Yes, you can still do good deeds.
That doesn't make you credible to tell you who to vote for with
Correct.
actual information.
Yes. And
I'd love to ask her if she even knows what Tim Walz's stand is on LG. Because, you know,
it's such a good
I
song.
follow quite a few people in that community that are MAGA fans.
Yes.
And they all will be like, y'all got to look at the policy. Trump is actually the only one that protects us. That's
Correct.
it. And they'll go over all of those things. And I don't support that. That's not, you know, I don't believe what
Yeah.
the Word of God says, and that's not it.
Yeah.
But when ultimately, again, you go back to the facts,
Mm-hmm.
the facts only.
Yes.
Trump is the one that supports that.
Correct. Agreed.
Not anyone
Yep.
else.
And this is the same thing as the only reason, or the majority of the reasons, that people are voting for Kamala is because they hate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like these people hate Donald Trump so much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know.
So if we handed them a paper of policies with
Yes.
no names on it and say, based on these two papers,
Right.
who would you vote for?
Yeah. Or have those policies and then put like blanks, like, and they could check which ones
Which
they
ones
like,
they
and then
like.
that way you'd know, oh, well, I have more checks on this side. Maybe you have a couple on, you know, the other side. Sure, some people cross the aisle on certain
Yeah.
things, but I guarantee you,
I guarantee.
the
Because I mean, when
majority.
you think of through like history, Democrats are the anti-war. Like when you start thinking
Right.
through old Democrats,
Uh-huh.
like, now
Yes.
I think
That's
this new
the same.
the new hate.
Yep.
America.
Yep.
There's a lot of crossover.
Yes. Because they're sitting here saying, we don't want war, but you're pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas, that's pro-terrorist group.
What you're doing to your own
Country.
American people.
Yes.
When you fight with them over why they
So
don't.
divisive.
Yeah.
When, you know, all of this from the left, this identity politics, vote for me because I'm a woman, vote for me because I'm black, that is, you're just separating people into categories.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with how intelligent they are.
And this is a plan. This is the plan. I can think of Hangover Gang's song, and he's just like, separate the right from the left,
Uh-huh.
separate the church, separate They just
separate everybody.
They work their way down, and that's the whole plan until everyone gets down to the bottom and everyone's fighting with each other, and there is no cohesive at all.
Yes.
And it should just be American.
Yes. And they want to sit here and push this my body, my choice. Well, first of all, they're very confused because I shared like a diagram, like a literal diagram the other day of like, this is my body. This is Caroline's body. I'm not pregnant. If I have a baby, that is not my body. If there is a baby in my body, that is the baby's body.
Yeah.
That's a separate body. It might be in my body.
Yeah.
But it is not mine. Right? Okay. But they want to sit here and say my body, my choice, which they're confused about that part. But then also they want to push these mandatory vaccines, these experimental drugs. I mean, we don't even have to rehash all of that from COVID about you either get this experimental vaccine drug or you get fired. I mean, it was very black or white.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be dead by now. You're healthy. I'm probably healthier than most people.
Oh, that's right.
So,
and we can donate clean blood.
It's probably worth a lot of money.
Mine's a negative. Mine's real.
Oh, mine's too. Oh, we probably don't tell people that. We are, and we're like,
we are good.
The creme de la creme. That's hilarious.
Episodes.
All the way. Take it to the bank.
That's so crazy.
We might need to be taking it to the bank. That's hilarious.
That's so true. Her mom just had surgery and she asked about that. She's like, can I bank it? They're like 2 weeks before surgery, you can bank it up for your use.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you know you're having surgery, you have to go 2 weeks before. And then we had a good friend that was in a really bad accident, and I called there and I was like, if he needs blood, you let me know and I will come down.
Wow.
Because he would want it to be clean and not vaccine and all that. And they're like, thank you, we will call you if they need it. He didn't end up needing any, but I was like, I will be there in an hour.
I feel like I need to update my will with stuff like this. Like,
and I know what I mean. Like, knows, like if there's an emergency, obviously my parents, my siblings were all O negative, so so we don't want the brothers because they were military.
We can't take that.
All the stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got it set so that's
so smart.
Blood, even in a trauma situation, you can go there. They'll fight you on it, but by law they have to. Yeah.
That's amazing.
This was a side note, but yeah,
that's our good turn for the
took a turn, but
yes, I like that. And keeping on the the science train, it was beaten in our heads. Listen to the science. Listen to the science. You have to believe the science. COVID and it's what their scientists were saying, bought and paid for scientists.
Yeah.
But don't come at me with this science baloney when the same side sits here and says men can be women, women can be men can get pregnant. They don't even know what a woman is.
Yeah.
What are we doing? I feel like it should be like a mic drop moment at this point. Like, why are we even having this conversation?
It's the fluoride.
Listen,
made people dumb.
I said it to some of my family members, and I was like, quit giving those kids fluoride. And they were like, it's just another thing. And I'm like, it stinks.
But fluoride was my first thing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, because
we don't do that.
As a child, I had fluorosis. So all my teeth had to be capped because the fluorosis destroyed all my teeth. And so it was so, way back then, they're like, you cannot give your animal fluoride because she's pretty much been poisoned by fluoride. My brother and I both. Wherever we lived, it was just so high. And so we were kids that we were already having to be like, super in school, you got those little cups and you had to swish it and you put it and give it back to the nurse.
Yeah.
And no, so we've always been like that.
Right.
So, I mean, none of my kids have ever gotten fluoride except for in tap water like it for them.
Right.
At home, it's all removed. But
yeah, same. Like we use fluoride.
Yeah, and I bring my own toothpaste to the dentist.
Oh, that's
we give it to them. They have to clean my kids' teeth with the.
Yeah, because I tell them no fluoride treatment.
Yes, we do no fluoride, but also we bring our own toothpaste.
Anything to do that?
Yeah, so fluoride. But I'm saying fluoride, it clogs up your what's that gland? Starts with a P. Pituitary.
Is that one?
Pituitary.
Is that one it?
No, I think
the
it's
different one.
Anywho,
but I think just talking through all of these points, is good because I had a situation this week. It was a very interesting situation where,
We're not for everybody.
yes, people very close to my family were upset at things that I was sharing and posting about on social media. Now, mind you, this is not new. Okay,
Like you've been the same person forever.
yes, like we all know, I just share what's on my heart. I share the facts. I share all of it, uncensored.
And it's your opinion.
And it is my opinion.
It's your choice.
And they were triggered, upset because of some of the things that I was posting. So much so to call my husband, be upset. I mean, it just went way, way far left, much further than it should have.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to say. When it comes to us, we are surrounded by, we see it on social media, we hear it from people. Like, we are friends with people that don't believe the same things that we do and may not vote the same way that we vote. But I don't allow that to take up space in any part, like, of my daily life.
Right.
Like, if I see something on social media that is the opposite of what I believe, do you know what I do? I do.
Just keep going.
I do.
I'm going to be annoyed and like, I cannot believe this.
Or sometimes if it's a repetitive and a lot, you do know you can hit the unfollow button, unfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole plethora of things that you can do to shield yourself from seeing things that you don't like.
But also there's a level of expectation of family and close friends.
Yes.
That you should be able to either, one, just cohesively live knowing that you guys disagree.
Like, you just agree to disagree.
But because of family or close
Yes.
or whatever, kids or whatever, you're going to just maintain that relationship even though that's not something you agree on.
Right.
And that's fine. But
to get triggered to the point, again, you're allowed to have feelings.
100%.
You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be triggered. However, I was taught from a young age personal responsibility, and I can only control how I react to certain things.
Yeah.
I don't do things, and I don't walk around on eggshells thinking, oh my gosh, if I do this, or if I say this, I'm going to hurt this person's feelings, or I'm going to do this, and it's going to upset somebody, or it's going to ruin somebody's day. You cannot live like that.
No.
You're supposed to live your life like that.
You have to live like that, and just because you've researched and have truth, if people are bothered by it, that's a them problem.
Yes.
And if it's something more in the spiritual realm, then that's called conviction, and they need to deal with that. And if it's something more political or health, that's just something for them to be like, oh, that's interesting. I've never heard that. I don't think I agree. Let me talk to my doctor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can question that or not question it.
And that's how we grow.
Right.
Like, this is what I was talking to Ryan about, is because truly, when I was in college, didn't know any better.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me my stance on abortion, I would have said pro-choice. Looking back now, knowing what I know now, and research and living life and all of the things, I could sit here and say, I was wrong.
Yeah.
That was a poor choice.
Right.
Like, I was wrong in that.
It didn't affect you because you didn't sign it or anything like that.
Exactly.
You can change your mind.
But you are allowed to learn more, research more, talk to other people. That's how we grow and evolve.
And I feel like things come up all the time. I have listened to so many podcasts, so many things where something will come up and be like, I did not know that. Is that true? And then I will do my own research.
Right.
And that's what's lacking.
It is, because, we can sit here, like Ryan and I can even joke. We can turn on CNN for a little bit, turn on Fox for a little bit if we wanted to, and say, oh, that's kind of far this way. That's kind of far this way. Let's look it up, research it, and then come to our own conclusion.
Yeah.
Because that's what you should be able to do. That's what normal, fully functioning, self-aware adults
do you think
should be able to do.
Just comes down to like laziness? I feel like somebody said something to me recently, because I always share political stuff or health stuff, lots of vaccines. Like, I'm in that realm. but I shared like this. There's this cucumber guy on TikTok,
Yeah.
and he makes these cucumber salads, and like you can like I'll start watching his TikToks, and then next thing you know, like I've watched 17 cucumber salad videos, and it's really fascinating. And then someone's like, "This is what's wrong with America," because people are like, instead of researching that or getting, I'm just gonna watch cucumber videos, and they just check out the important stuff. And
I see what you're saying.
they become consumed with whatever it is, if it's football or if it's sitcom or it's Netflix or it's Gilmore Girls or videos.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
It's like, this is too overwhelming.
Yes.
It's too much. I don't want to live in this place, so I'm just going to check it out.
They think that the world is just this beautifully happy place that we live in. They think that like when we go to places and there's homeless running out in the middle of the street and banging on car doors, they're like, it's okay.
This morning, actually.
It's okay. It's okay. They probably they're just trying to be nice. And I'm like, no, they're not.
No.
They're mentally not okay.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And listen, sometimes, do I wish I could live that life?
I know. Sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I could be like that.
I wish I could just live.
Just watch cucumber videos.
Yeah, in this happy bubble that, like, we all sing Kumbaya and we all get along all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do. But then I have to remind
we
myself.
have kids.
Yes.
And
I would be doing a disservice to my kids to live like that.
And I don't feel as a Christian,
For sure.
are called to do this. I'm not saying necessarily to our extent, but we are called to pay attention to what is coming up, how that's going to affect our kids, how that affects Israel, how that affects America, how that affects the church. Every single thing that's happening is going to trickle into the church real soon.
Yes.
Not already.
Yes.
Real soon. And if we're not strong enough to take on this stuff, what's going to happen when they come after our faith?
Well, and it comes down to also people not being able to have constructive conversations.
Yes.
I could sit right here or right beside somebody that is the exact opposite of me. And I could have a conversation, a respectful conversation, without name calling, getting triggered, getting heated, upset, all the things. But what's happened is people have tiptoed around these topics for so long because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, that they've not learned that skill of having constructive conversation.
Yeah.
Like, if for the past 20 years you talk to your kids about these things, and number one, they're strong and they're confident in their values and their stances.
I feel like that the boomer to millennial, it was don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion.
Correct.
And so that whole generation almost checked out of it.
Agreed.
100%, because that's what we were taught.
And for all purposes, the majority of that time frame, the world was pretty
no social media.
No social media. So you didn't know.
No, we knew when Operation Desert Storm was on. Like, we would watch that kind of stuff on TV, but they were getting very limited stuff.
Right.
It wasn't all consuming because we only got little bits of stuff. The 5 o'clock news, the 12 o'clock. That was
it. Was done. Like, in an hour, it was off your TV.
It was off your TV. You moved on to Andy Griffith or something. Like, there was nothing else. So we weren't consumed with it 24/7 in our face all the time. But it was we don't talk about politics.
Correct.
Where now it's not like that.
It wasn't that far divided either. You go back and talk to Tulsi Gabbard, and all of these other people, RFK Jr., all these people that are disassociating with the left, the Democratic Party. It's not the same. Mm-hmm. It really was much closer. So many more people were much more in the middle, toeing the line. But over these last few years, it just continues to get so much further apart.
The other bad thing with that is that when the boomers didn't teach the millennials and do that talk, then the millennials really didn't pass it down much. Which is why our Republican Party, our people that are running for office are all 60 and above. Because the millennial generation going into, and I know Gen X is in there too. Gen X and millennials, but Gen X and millennials now are not aren't going into politics.
Right. Well, nobody wants to run for anything.
So when you go to a Republican Party meeting locally, everyone is over the age of 60, if not higher.
Right.
And there's no one in the middle, and that means that none of their children.
Yeah, nobody's there to fill those gaps.
Nobody's there to fill those gaps where it should be, where we're passing it from generation, just like the Word of God. Like, we have to pass that torch to the next generation. And if you don't, and you skip a generation, what happens? This is what happens.
This is what happens.
This is what happens.
We're so far apart.
And there's nobody. And so then the 25-year-olds don't want to be voting for an 80-year-old.
Exactly.
They don't, but there's nobody in the middle.
And then you've got this huge gap, as far as the boomers are just lapping up everything from the news because that's their only mode.
And they grew up in an era where that was where you only did it. So
to an extent, I understand. Whatever CNN's telling you must be the truth.
Yeah.
And it is very difficult if you don't evolve or if people don't do their own research. And then you have this divide of, well, I'm just doing what CNN says. Well, I'm just listening, and this is what they're saying.
And I'll see it, I'll see it, and they'll be like, we can't vote for Trump, he's a racist, and he said this, and I'm like, what? That's not right.
Yes. And, here, on the flip side, we have our kids who now we're thinking about, like, we were the boomers' kids. Like, I'm a product of the boomers. And so now I have my children.
Well, you're a millennial, though.
Yes.
Jenna.
Yes. And so I put my kids over here, and I'm saying, no, I need you all to vote to keep my daughter safe from pedophiles who are going to be in the same bathroom or playing sports
But they're stuck on the old Democratic Party.
Yes.
And this is what it is. I'm always been Democrat. I'm not looking into it. I'm just voting because that's how I've always been.
Exactly.
And we need them to wake up.
So bad.
But then we also need the younger generation to, get their brain together or something. I guess it comes down to we need to hit Gen X and millennials. They need to step it up.
Yeah.
They need to have conversation. Yes. They need to be like, why were you a Democrat? Why were you a Republican? What were the values that you wanted?
Yes. Yes.
So,
it is crazy.
Yeah.
And then that's why you've got craziness like Teamsters Union.
This is blowing my mind.
This is
blowing my mind. So Teamsters Union, they've been forever. They're the biggest union
in our country.
So I don't even know what the numbers of that are, but
it's millions.
Millions of people involved that are part of the unions.
Yes.
And every election, they come out with a Teamster Union. They don't back the candidate, but they take a vote within the union of who's voting for what, and it's kind of like an endorsement, essentially.
Yeah, they'll put out the numbers, and so obviously the one with the most, the majority of it is solid.
Exactly. And so they put up the poll yesterday, and when Biden was still in the race,
right?
Biden was winning, Trump was losing, and that's what it is, which you expected. Well, they put it up yesterday, and man, the CNN girl, man, she was tripping.
She was freaking out.
Yes. So they put it up. This has not happened since 1996, which is Bush's era, right?
Yes.
It was 58% Trump, 31% Kamala. This is insane.
That's not even neck and neck.
And the union will vote accordingly because they're union. And union workers, you don't mess with
blue collar,
they're going to vote for whoever's going to keep them in their union and keep them with what they're doing. And so this is devastating.
Yeah. They're trying to do damage control major right now.
Oh my gosh. Sponsor.
They're just growling.
I need my office back.
That's hilarious. But no, that is huge that they've come out.
Yeah.
And not technically endorsed Trump, but when you
it's essentially an endorsement.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a huge plus. Also, Trump had his rally in Long Island yesterday, Long Island, New York.
Heck.
50,000
Nobody goes to those.
Plus.
They leave because they're sleeping.
Wow, you tell every one of those 50,000 plus people.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Before the end. I kind of want to travel.
Yeah.
To one.
We should do that.
I think it was so fun to go travel to one. I'm kind of contemplating going to Miami for the boat parade. Wouldn't that be so fun? I was looking at tickets the other day, that's the weekend of my anniversary. We could do this. We could just go down.
Travis, go. Yeah.
Down and watch the Trump parade in Palm Beach.
Not mad about it.
I think it'd be so fun. I think it'd be more fun on the water, but I don't have that kind of connection.
Yeah, I know. We would have to do some Instagramming. Yes. like turnout kind of deal. But
50,000 people, and they were expecting more.
yes, well, they said they had to turn thousands away.
Yeah.
I mean, thousands were in the overflow area watching. So that's
scary too in New York.
Yes, and House and Habit's in New York this week, New York City, and she's sitting here saying there are so many undercover Republicans and conservatives in New York City. Like she said, people were just walking up to her being like, "I'm voting for Trump."
Yeah,
but people that you would not imagine, not expect. You know, all of
such hope for this election. I know people ask me, were like, I don't. Obviously, if they cheat or unalive him, then totally different. But I feel like on merit, if everything was done legally and properly,
yes,
I don't even feel like there's even a chance of Kamala getting a quarter of the votes.
Yes, I agree.
Obviously, we have cheaters
and all the things. We're trying to really push that out.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, dare we like save that?
I think we saved that.
I do too. We got good stuff.
We got some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, truly. But last thing I will say before we close it up, I just, again, we're talking about people only knowing like one mode or one way to, you listen to the news. And if you were a boomer, what else can you do? Well, podcasts just like ours are huge.
I listen to podcasts all day long.
Yes. And some of the best ones, I mean, obviously, you've got Tucker Carlson, who's crushing it. But the Sean Ryan show.
I love Sean Ryan. He's so understated.
He's a fantastic interviewer.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, his interview skills and how he just listens.
And his background is military, right? I don't know his full background. He's military, but he has gotten, he didn't read Trump. But I've learned so much.
Agreed.
So much. He did, he interviewed Tulsi Gabbard.
This last
week, J.D. Vance.
Yes, Megyn Kelly, Trump. Like, his lineup is just...
So, and you can find Sean Ryan on YouTube. That's where you're going to find that one the easiest.
Yes.
And TuckerCarlson.com. His are independent.
Yes. And even Joe Rogan, listen, I know he gets a little out there sometimes, but he has solid guests on his podcast. Yeah. They're so good. But yeah, just like those, follow them.
If you're local, I'm pretty sure Tim Burchett, who's our local, he's our Knoxville, he's our Knoxville mayor, and now he represents Knoxville on Senate, Congress, something.
Yes.
He, I think, is going to be on Sean Ryan. I saw behind the scenes, so I'm excited to watch a local.
That's crazy.
On Sean Ryan, so yeah.
Please, we're going to ask a favor. Like, subscribe, give us a review, share all of the things, because that gets this out to the masses so much more efficiently. If you all can take 60 seconds even to do it, that would be fantastic. So, dude, we're wrapping it up.
Week 9.
So now,
this is 9 weeks.
So good. All right, next week is 10.
Yeah.